So now let's get started drawing the clapper. And here's my little data sheet, and I'm going to point out a few things. This is the clapper. It's a circle, a rectangle, and then there's going to be a hole through it. And so I'd like to see a side view sort of like this with the hole through it. And remember, I've got the height, I've got the diameter, I have how wide the rectangle is, how far it extends. So I'm going to use this information to make my drawing. So here we are. I'm all set up correctly, and I need to make a layer called clapper. So let's do that. Clapper says it's red and 0.014. So I've done all my work. Remember, to get these to show up in inches, I had to right click on my line weights, click on the settings, and make sure it says inches. So now I'm ready to draw my clapper. Now it could be, let me go ahead and get a few more things that might be useful. Let me go find my mechanical exemplar. There we go. And now I can come back to my drawing and probably need to save this now as clapper 4-inch. File, save as, clapper 4-inch. That's going to be in my week 5 stuff, mechanical, clapper 4-inch. And I'm going to call, I did a 3D model of it, so I'm going to call this my 2D model. Okay. So I remember that from the design center, if I look at my open drawings from my exemplar, I can get some other layers. And I probably want center lines, construction lines, def points. Let me just get the whole thing. It's not going to hurt me at all to bring all of those in. Now I have them all available for me to draw with. That's why we use that thing. They're all right there. All of the layers are there for me. So I also have my clapper, and let me start out. The main diameter is 4.25. 4.25. And then there's a rectangle of some size that's 0.95 wide, and I'm just going to make it fairly long. I'll make it like 2 long and see if that will go into place. Now, to get it into place, I'm going to draw a construction line from the center, and it says the end of the clapper goes 2.88 from there up, and looks like I got that wrong. Let's look at my properties. Up, I do that all the time. You probably do too. I've got a radius of 4.25. If you get it wrong, you can just click on diameter and write 4.25. Ah, that's the beauty of checking things out and doing them in AutoCAD. Okay, so again, I selected it, right-clicked, properties, and then I can see what the diameter or the circumference or anything is of what I drew, and I saw that I had made the wrong thing. So now I can move, and I probably need midpoints selected, and maybe even, well, let's just start with midpoints. Midpoint of that goes to the end, and now we need to just do some trimming. And that's the basics of it. Now there's a little hole over here, so I need to do a side view of it. That's what I like construction lines for. So now I can find some important points and project them over with my construction lines. And I know that the top of the clapper starts up here somewhere and extends that whole length. That's the top of the clapper. And it's 0.81 tall, so I can do the offset command. I just did the typing version of it, 0.81. And now I can draw in my lines that I see. Now I'm going to do a little trick why I like layers. I might want to see these construction lines later on, so I'm going to turn them off. There it goes. I've got it. And now it just says, well, find a spot for the circle, except it has to be 2.59 away. So let me come from the center. Let me put one more construction line for the center of this thing. And the center, of course, has to line up. And that should have been a construction line. So if I offset that 2.59, offset 2.59, I know that it will be in the right place. And then I can just draw my circle somewhere on that. So I'm on my clapper. Let me put in my circle. I'm going to go up 0.6, maybe. So watch how I do that. I'm going to draw a circle, maybe with a diameter D of 0.125. That's an 1/8 inch diameter. And I can move it from here, and I can move it up 0.6. 0.618. You'll wonder why I took that. And I'll turn that off. There we go. And that's really it right there. Now, there's a few things. I've got everything that I need here to be able to do my drawing. It's ready. That's all it takes to draw that. It's not too much right now. So let's see what it says to do on my thing. I'll save my file. Oh, and then it says create a mechanical detailed drawing. So I need a drawing. Now, I think that's going to fit on a B-size drawing the best. Although it could fit on an A size, I really don't know. Let's see how well it fits on an A size. If I click over here and make it 1:1, that's going to take up an awful lot of room, even if I move those together, and I won't have very much room for other information. So I like the B size drawing. How do I get that? Remember, I go to my layouts and I bring in a mechanical B size and I get rid of my other two. There's my mechanical B size. And then I'm just kind of remembering stuff. This one already has a title block. It's already got the standard tolerances. So I need some general notes. I know these ones may or may not go with this perfectly. Can always change it later on. And I didn't do a very good job there. I need to get this kind of moved down here. And I need my revision. Now watch, I'm going to do my revision title. and my revision items. Now I'm really getting down to it. And I'm not going to worry about what those say. And I'll select my def points, go to my layout, and put in a rectangular viewport. And I'll set that viewport as 1:1. My viewport might not be drawn big enough. Let's see. It is. Let me show you a trick. If it wasn't drawn big enough, I go back to my paper and I can pick it and I can actually make it bigger. There we go. Now I need my dimensions. I'm going to ask you to do mechanical 3 places. Let's bring in mechanical 3 places and go to my home. Make sure that I'm going to use my dim text or my text. I'll leave it up to you. Dim text layer. And remember, I have to go to this tiny little annotation button, go to the dimensions, and make sure that I'm using the right dim style so that it comes out correctly. First thing I'll do is put in my diameter and hope I've got it right. I do. Now there's some things about this. Put it in about the same place I am. From straight up to 15 degrees should be avoided. From straight over to 15 degrees should be avoided. You want it kind of somewhere in this range right there. Okay. Now I'm going to do another thing. I'm going to center mark this. So that's under annotate, center mark, and it puts a big center mark on it, which is what I want. That's really kind of cool. Okay, then I have a couple of other dimensions that I'm going to ask you to put on. I'm going to ask you to put on this width. Ask you to put on, I need another center mark. Sorry about that. There we go. And you can stay your dimensions from here too. You can do all your dimensions from here. I prefer to work on my home screen because everything's there. That should line up. See how I get it in place? And then I move over to tell it where it should actually be sitting. And I see that I'm going to run out of room down here. So I can move, believe it or not, I can move all of that, enter, and move it all up together a little bit. Now remember, this black line is not going to show up because it's def points when it plots. So I've got one more here to do. Now that doesn't look very good with the crossing arrows. Okay, it just doesn't look that good. So I'm going to choose to put that one on the top. And then I'm going to choose to get this one to line up with that. Just nice looking when things line up well. Now there's one other thing. I need a center line right here to show where that center line is. So let me put on my center lines and I'll draw a line straight over. And then I'll trim it. Oops. Now, here's the thing. That center line can go in either model space or it can go in paper space. I'm going to choose for this one to put it in model space. There's reasons to do either one. Then I'm going to show you another cool command. That should stick out 1/8 of an inch. LEN for lengthen. DE, delta, a given amount, 0.12. And it doesn't really come up showing like a center line. So I need to make it just a little bit longer. Oops. LEN, lengthen. I'm not typing very well. Delta, 1/8. And now it's showing up. So I like to have it a little less sticking out, but I'd rather have that show. And then I need another dimension from that center line to that endpoint. And then remember there was one from this center line. I'm going to use the quadrant of the circle to the end right here. Those were the two dimensions that were given to me. And I'm going to try to line it up right there and then try to move it over so that it starts right about there. Now things are nicely lined up. That's how you would get those. And now I need a diameter of that hole. I can bring that down. I don't want it going right through the corner. I need it to miss the corner a little bit. So that looks pretty good. It looks like it's lined up right below that other one. I either need it to line up with this one or this one to make it look nice. There we go. So that's my dimensioning. Now there's one other thing. I'm not seeing that there's this hole represented over here. And we do that with hidden lines. And they project. Remember, they project. I'm going to turn on my quadrants. Right? They have to line up. Things line up in neighboring views. That's how easy that goes. I can do another really cool thing here with my center line. That was over here. I can say a center line between those two. And see how it automatically does that nice little extension and everything for me? That is really nice. Now I think I have a full, complete drawing. Okay. I'm missing a few little things that you could add on if you want, but this is a pretty nice drawing, so I'll save it. Yeah, it looks like with my line weights turned on. Okay. And I asked for my clapper to be a little bit light. Okay. We may come back and change those later on, but you've done everything exactly like it was asked for. I can do a print preview. And that is what it looks like. So there's your clapper drawing. And I'll do a save and got it.